for you. Jordan Spieth providing some highlights there from off the green at 11. That got Jordan back to even par, and this was an eagle putt at the 6th from just about 20 feet. That got him back to even par as well. It was an up and down round for Spieth. He signed for 72, 1 over par after 18 holes. Harold Varner III out in the morning wave. Third shot here at the 8th from 123. All over it. Led to a birdie, getting Varner to 6 under. He signed for 66. John Rahm, world number 1. Third shot at the 3rd. Touch of class with that one.
Oh, yes, it is the playoffs, the FedEx Cup playoffs, the time for the golfers and the handicappers to shine. And we bring in our resident wizard, king of the JBs. JB, we've got the crystal clear internet for the first time in, I don't know, since you were in New Zealand tending to the sheep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're back in Costa Rica now, New Zealand.
Hey, we love it. Welcome to the SportSedge, by the way, powered by InSpin.com. You can get JB sizzling golf picks at ScratchCaddy.com and, of course, Seals at SportsHandicapper.com. Jamie, let's talk about the playoffs. And, you know, it's only 3 rounds now. Then we have the Ryder Cup coming up later in the year. We've discussed this many times throughout the year on this show. For people that maybe are watching for the first time, I want them to understand what goes into your process and obviously why you've been so successful for several years on ScratchCaddy.com. Do I have you there?
Yeah, it's the first leg this week of the FedEx Cup playoffs. The Northern Trust, we had the winner last year, Dustin minus 30 shot. And you look at these first tournament in these FedEx Cup playoffs over the years. I think you've had Patrick Reed with a couple, Johnson's won a couple, and DeChambeau's won the last 5 between these 3 guys. So yeah, we're on a couple of guys this week. Bryson DeChambeau was the first guy. Both of these picks sort of really stood out to me, to be honest with you. Bryson DeChambeau is about 20 to 1, 22. One in New Jersey, one in Massachusetts, but in New York. You look at him on his past 70 with bent grass greens. He's won the Shrine. He's won the John Deere. He's came second in the 3M. Even Phoenix, they overseed with bent grass greens in February when they play there, and he's had a 4th place there. So the location's right, the course is right, the odds were great, considering that you usually see Bryson around 14, 16 to 1. So we were in on Bryson. Yesterday was real frustrating in as much as that all these birdies that he had, he sort of doubled them up with as many bogeys as well. So he shot -6 though today. He's sitting in about 11th, 12th place right now on -6. So hopefully he can be there right bang there weekend. The other guy that we had was Justin, and sort of considered Justin Thomas. You usually see Thomas around 14-1 as well, and everybody put him out to 20-1, 25-1, 28-1. I think it was in the place, but you look at Thomas in August, and the last 4 years, going back to 2017, where he won the US PGA, he's won in August every single year. So the PGA was in 2017. He won the Bridgestone. 2018, won the BMW in the FEDEX playoffs in 19. Won the WG FEDEX again in 2020. So anybody who sort of looks up for biorhythms or anything like that, you can definitely that August is a month that just in time. Hopefully we can get a win for him this week. He's great round yesterday, -8, I think he was, something like that. And he's got a couple of under today. He was 3 over earlier on in the round today. Managed to eagle managed to make a couple of birdies and an eagle on the back nine. So again, tied he's third right now. Hopefully it'll be the weekend, and obviously, you know what? When you've got Rahm in the field playing now, it's going to be real tough to beat him. But at 8-1 for Jon Rahm, that's not real any value. So, yeah, 20-1, 25-1 on DeChambeau and Thomas this week, and those are the only guys that we've got.
All right. Great stuff by Jamie. I apologize about the little delay there. So thank you, Jamie. We'll get back with you in a minute. And you can see right there on scratchcaddy.com. I mean, Jamie went over some of this. And if you're just watching the show for the first time, you look at all the work that he does for you. I mean, this is why he's been a proven winner for years and years. I mean, you look at the course form, the recent form, the par 70 Bermuda form, top 20s, and, you know, lays it all out there for you. And this is why Jamie's won 7-8 times this season. I say 7-8 because there's the guys that he had obviously in playoffs that ended up not winning the tournament, but he had top 5s and top 10s as well. So there's just such a great formula that Jamie has with all of his golfers and why he's been so successful this season and so many in the past. So we always appreciate it. We'll get back with Jamie in a little bit. We almost have the internet problem worked out, but we also do have Sealy McNeely here. Seal, you were very adamant and excited and tuned in with your stupid Trump hat about Jamie's information there. But I wanted to ask you this because, obviously you're not the golf guy. You're, football and baseball and you done basketball for years. What would you tell people, being someone like you, and we've talked about this many times on the show, about why you're so good at what you are and what you do, about why Jamie's so good at what he does? I mean, you've seen this from the outside in for several years. How would you explain it as someone that's good at what you do, but you don't do golf?
It's just the homework, the preparation. I love his spreadsheet. I mean, I like how it's all nice. Everything's right there in an easy file. I like it. It looks good. And it doesn't just look good. You get great results from it. So
you do. I mean, it's all right. I'm telling you, he takes the guesswork out of it for you. Yeah. I mean, this guy's been successful and profitable for years. So please check out scratchcaddy.com. Like I always say on the show, I'm not telling you I want you to go right away and, spend money on Jamie's site or see. By the way, you've been named Steely McNeely because of some of Jamie's picks with Maverick McNeely. He's your favorite golfer. But the point that we make on this show is we're going to give you information. We want you to win. Seal's been doing it for years. Jamie's been doing it for years. So please check out their stuff, scratchcaddy.com. For Jamie, it's right there. And we'll see what happens with with Bryson DeChambeau and with Justin Thomas, who's right there. Thomas is 10 under for the tournament. He's done for the day. He was 200. Actually, at one point, he was, I think, 3 over and really recovered nicely with a 69. So 69, dude. So he is right there in the top 3. Cut line looks like it's going to be at -1. By the way, I gave you a great show, The White Lotus. You loved that.
It wasn't great.
I thought it was great.
It was good.
I've got a new show for you, War of the Worlds on Epix. It really is fascinating. It's different from what you would expect War of the Worlds to be like. So I want you to check that out. But you might laugh at me for this, and I don't care. I don't care if you laugh at me that I cried at the end of this movie last night. Were you a fan of the Bill and Ted's movies in the late 80s, early 90s?
That would be a negative. No.
Okay. Well, even if you weren't, they just made the third movie, Bill and Ted Face the Music. And the first movie is a classic. It really is. The Bogus Journey, the sequel, was okay, but it actually is with the test of time and has started to be looked at a little more fondly. And William Sadler played Death, and he was funny. So there's some good stuff in that movie. But this movie came out last year during the pandemic, and I never got a chance to finish it. I watched the first 30 minutes, and I got tied up. Never finished it till last night. I am telling you, it was awesome. I mean, they have archive footage of George Carlin. They have Samara Weaving, who I'm sure you love, Seal. She's been in a lot of things, including that series Smilf on Showtime. It was awesome, and I cried at the end. And I'm not even embarrassed about that.
And you're admitting that on a podcast live?
I'm admitting it because I am an emotional giant. But I got some more shows for you coming up soon. But how about wins? Last night you had one play, or yesterday you had one play. The over in the Milwaukee game, easy winner. I think that this, and I know you said you're going to probably back off in September when the call-ups happen, and I understand that. But you have been dialed in for the majority of this year. Of course you're going to lose here and there. But and even when you go like 5-1, not that you pick that many games, but let's say you go 3-0 on a day. You're like, I'm not that happy. Or you go 2-1, I'm not that happy. You're profitable, and it's never enough. But how many times have I brought you back from the edge this year?
Oh, I was on an inch away from the ledge, ready to take a leap. But you have brought me back a few times this year.
Well, yeah, sometimes you'll say a game's over in the first inning. I'm like, what is wrong with you? But think about the miracles I've helped us have. I've given us a few miracles in the last couple of weeks, like games that needed 8 runs in an inning, and we got it in extras, and just a lot of other crazy stuff that's happened recently.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, especially with the for the last 2 years, the extra inning games, they're bizarre. I mean, good luck if you bet on them. And a game that goes.
Who would take it under anymore?
Those extra innings, it's like you gotta hold your breath and they'll score 6 runs.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
They're not doing that next year though.
No.
That's done.
And I will tell you, I believe they're going to get rid of the 7-inning doubleheader thing too.
Yeah, that's done also.
We get back to a little more normalcy, but unless the Lambda variant, and then the Lambda variant really screws us.
Yeah, you're doing a bang-up job. Yeah.
By the way, you staying safe over there? Is that Trump hat?
I might take a trip to Kabul.
Oh God, you would. I hear Kabul is really nice this time of year.
It's gorgeous this time of year, and I heard that the flights are really cheap right now. And you just hop on like an army jet and go. You get down there for free.
You're out. Oh yeah, you just grab out an army jet and then fall to your death.
Yeah, I just sit in the wheel well. It's all right.
All right, listen, give the people some nibbles where they can actually win actual money and not have to worry about grabbing onto a plane in Afghanistan. I know you have some nibbles today. Where are we starting? Big card tonight. By the way, really quick, I know that you're a big fan of my guy, Miguel Cabrera. I think I said this on the show last week.
Oh, yeah, the guy that hasn't hit a home run in like 2 weeks. That guy?
All right, enough of you. It's not been 2 weeks. But I said on the show last week that it was not going to happen in the homestand. They played Cleveland, and then they played the Angels, and he wasn't getting a home. Otani's given up one right-handed home run all year. But I said it would be in Toronto. And I really believe that maybe tonight is that night where it happens in Toronto. Alexander on the mound for the Tigers. Former Tiger Robbie Ray on the mound for Toronto. Remember, former Tiger Justin Upton had that winning home run because the Tigers never came back a couple days ago against the Tigers with the Angels. I think it happens tonight or this series. I really do. I think Cabrera gets the 500.
If Robbie Ray pitches 7 innings against the Tigers, he's not in a home run of him. He can't get around on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball anymore. Come on.
I know, but he's still Miguel Cabrera. All right, he's one of the best. He's one of the top 3 right-handed hitters in the history of baseball.
What?
Easy.
Not a chance.
I'm not saying right now. I'm saying during his career. He's going to get to 3,000. He's going to get to 500. As far as pure right-handed hitters go, he's top 3 in the modern era. I'm not talking about dead ball era. I'm talking about the modern era of baseball, like kind of 60s and on. Absolutely top 3. Name 2 better. Or name 5 better.
I off the top of my head, there's probably.
I mean, obviously, I love Tony Gwynn. He was incredible. He was probably the best pure hitter ever. Kirby Puckett was amazing.
He was a lefty.
Well, Puckett was?
No, Gwynn was.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Gwynn was a lefty. Puckett was a righty. Pujols is a righty. He's up there. He's up there in the top 5. Barry Bonds, but Barry Bonds juiced, but who didn't?
He was a lefty.
Yep. So, I mean, if you're looking at just right-handed hitters, he's top 3 easy. I've given you 2 of the top probably 10 of all time, and 2 of those guys were lefties.
I liked Edgar Martinez, but he got a late start to his career.
Yeah, Cabrera's better than Edgar Martinez.
Miggy started, when he was like 20, 21. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, we're not talking about Honus Wagner. We're not going. Mike Schmidt probably is up there.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You can mark this down that Miggy Cabrera's rookie card won't be worth as much as Honus Wagner.
No, that's $6.6 million.
Yeah.
I mean, Hank Aaron is probably in the top 3. I know Mike Trout's in the running now, but he's still young.
What about Willie Mays?
Willie Mays? No, Cabrera's a better hitter than Willie Mays.
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm talking about prime of his career. Willie Mays is a better fielder. And I mean, overall player, you got to go by Ward. Cabrera's WAR is pretty nuts. But when Cabrera was in his prime, the guy hit an intentional walk into the outfield. The 4th pick of an intentional walk into the outfield.
That was a long time ago. He's been pretty much a below average hitter for about 5 years.
Well, so was Pujols for a long time too, and now he's out of baseball.
And still is.
All right, give the peeps some nibbles. I know you have 3 nibbles today.
All right, in the National League, we're gonna bet against a guy coming off of a few arm problems over the last 3 years. Didn't pitch basically at all last year. We're gonna bet the dreaded Pirates.
Oh, the dread Pirate Roberts.
We're gonna bet them over 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings. Take a shot against this Mikolas.
I like it. What kind of juice did you have to lay on that? Obviously, I want
to like 17 cents.
I want to explain this to people again. I can't say this enough. If you sign up with SportsHandicapper.com, first off, it makes Seal really happy. And secondly, you're going to get plays like he'll text me. I'm always normally up anyway. I don't really sleep. But I'll get text at 6:30 in the morning, 7:30, whatever. So many times, Seal, I'd say 80+% of the time, when you're betting something, not only is the line moving, but you're going to lose a ton of value if you wait. So let's say a total, for example, that Milwaukee total yesterday. It was 7.5 when you bet it. It went to 8 immediately. The juice on that Pirates over 1.5 in the first 5. I'm sure I haven't looked at it right now. I'm sure it's up to 130. So it's value. It's all about value, Seal.
Yeah, it is amazing though. The other day I bet a team total with the White Sox. Over 3.5. Bet peanuts on it. Went right to 4.5. Everywhere went to 4.5. Couldn't even bet anymore. I mean, it's no good when you move the line that much.
But that's a sign of respect. You're like an offer you can't refuse.
I wanted to bet more, and I couldn't get any more.
Well, next time you will.
That's tough. Very tough.
All right, where are we going next?
All right, we'll slaughter down to the American League. We're gonna go with the Oakland A's, the Bay Series, not the World Series, but still a nice Bay Series between the Giants and the A's.
The famous Earthquake World Series.
Yes. We're gonna go over 8.5 in the Oakland A's game tonight. Even though I do not like going over 8.5 in a night game in that dump, but the San Francisco team with a DH is pretty dangerous. They're like one of the one team. There's very few teams in the National League can play with a DH, and they just have too many hitters. San Francisco,
right? They do. No, important.
Put a DH in there that's like a 220 hitter with no power. But I'll tell you, San Fran's built for the DH. Oh.
All right, important question. And I like bringing this up because people who are watching for the first time wanted to understand this once again about the value. So you mentioned over 8.5. Now it's up to 9 minus 105. Obviously, if it's something like going from 8 to 8.5, it's a different story. 8.5, you're going to have to win by getting to 9, but 9 would be a push now. What do you tell the people if they are just watching the show now? They didn't have a chance to bet it earlier because they unfortunately didn't sign up for your service, which they need to. Will you still tell them to take that? Because in that scenario, to me, you don't want to push, but a push isn't a loss. So if it was from 8 to 9, that's one thing. You got it 8.5, it's up to 9. Would you still tell them to fire away on that?
No.
All right. So, but are there situations where you would?
Very rarely. No, I don't like cheating on numbers.
I agree, but don't you think that it makes sense if you're going from a half to a full? Like if you take a game at 7.5 and it goes to 8, or you take a game at 8.5 and it goes to 9. I understand that extra half run is the difference between a win or a loss if it hits the number. But to me, I think it's worth, if you really like a game, it's worth taking that for a smaller play maybe than you would have taken it for. Because, yes, you would have had to get to 9 in this scenario anyway to win. Now, if you get to 9, you push, but you still obviously can win. I don't. If it's 8 and then it goes to 9, it's a totally different story. Then you lose all value. I like this game tonight at over 9. I would still take it at over 9 if you didn't get it early.
I wouldn't because I don't like it that much. And the second thing, it did open 8. And to go over 9 when a game opens 8 in baseball, wouldn't do it. Wouldn't recommend it.
Well, that's why you're the expert. That's why I'm asking you the questions. All right, you got one more nibble for us, I believe?
This is just one of my systems. Bet against a garbage pitcher who pitches a no-hitter in his first start in Major League Baseball who actually kind of stinks. And you know who that is, correct?
Oh, yes, I know who that is.
That would be
the Tigers.
That would be the Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher who, I don't know how, pitched a no-hitter against the Padres.
I have no clue. I don't know what's going on with the Padres either. What have they lost, 5 or 6? What the hell's wrong with them?
I don't know. I don't know. But I watched this guy pitch, and this guy might have the worst stuff of anybody that ever pitched a no-hitter. Going back to my old Philly days, if you remember, Tommy Green pitched a no-hitter for the Phillies. He had like 9 walks in the game. He pitched a no-hitter. That's what this guy reminded me of. So he might knock it out of the second inning tonight. So
Gilbert for Arizona.
I laid 1.5 runs with Colorado, very small. Just I have to. I can't help myself. And I rather lay the 1.5 runs than lay in 75 cents, 80 cents on any game in Coors Field.
Yep, I'm with you. And the 1.5 minus 1.5 minus 105 right now on the inspin.com live lines. The minus 187 is the money line. So that's where we're at right now. All right, Sealy McNeely. So once again, if you want to get on the gravy train, which you should, Pirates over 1.5 team total in the first 5 innings against a youngster in Mikolas. Sounds like a Greek pitcher, by the way. The Rockies minus 1.5 against the brand new no-hitter man, Gilbert Gottfried for the D-backs, minus 1.5 right now minus 105. And then later tonight, the over 8.5 is what Seal played it at, Oakland and the Giants. And it's now up to minus 9, or I'm sorry, over 9, minus 105. So we say pass on that unless you can get it at 8.5. Will you tell people to take the 8.5 minus like 120 or to stay away?
Absolutely. If you can get minus 20 or even a quarter, I would go over.
Sick. All right. Before we go, we're getting closer to football. Give the people something to get excited about. Anything you've seen in the recent weeks, as I know you've been reading the Phil Steele guide and getting you're the king of the MAC. Anything that's kind of stood out to you? I will say it's interesting. Now the Big 10 and Pac-12 are talking about doing an alliance. And I know that there was the ACC and I think another conference too said, if you can't play, you got to forfeit. So if there's a COVID issue, they have to forfeit the game. There's no redos this year.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Because those forfeiting, I mean, I would make them forfeit the game because it's too much of a pain in the neck in the scheduling to have to reschedule a game. It's just, I want to see what happens if both teams can't play. Then what happens? Is it a double forfeit?
Yeah, I think if both teams, I mean, maybe if it's both teams don't have enough players that they would find the commissioner has it in his power to reschedule it. But the way they made it sound, at least for the ACC, is if you can't play, you forfeit. So if both teams can't play, I would guess that's a double forfeit.
Yeah, this is going to be a mess.
They got to keep the rules for everybody. Yeah, it's going to be a total mess. Anything else you've seen as we're getting ready here?
Tonight, my friends out west in the desert, they fired away on the Chiefs -3 in the first half tonight. Supposedly, Andy up to his old shenanigans and saying that Mahomes is going to play the first half. I've seen him say that stuff numerous times in the preseason, and I don't believe anything he says. I don't believe it. If Mahomes comes out and they go right down the field, boom, 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 and score, he can go right to the sidelines.
Especially the second game. Why would you even?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's only 3 games this year, so.
Yeah, but still, it's. I mean, I think that the last game was supposed to be a dress rehearsal.
Yeah. He could play the whole first half, but won't be surprised if he goes boom, boom, boom.
So they're going -3 in the first half, even though the line is -3.5 for the game.
Correct.
I don't like that at all.
You can see the line in the first half is 3.5.
Yeah, the line in the first half is -3.5, -120.
Yep. Well, that's because they bet it.
All right. Well, I guess I might have to throw a little action on that, my friend.
Not me. I don't trust Andy Reid. I don't trust Big Red. Don't trust him.
Because they're one of the top 3 teams in the NFL. That's why you don't like him?
No, because he's full of shit.
I'm talking about Andy Reid. I know he's full of shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's blah, blah, blah. He's going to do this. He's with the Eagles for all his years. Yeah, Donovan McNabb's going to play the first 3 quarters in the preseason game. He plays like 2 series and he's done. I don't care whatever he says goes in one ear and out the other.
They're all freaking liars. Yeah. All right, before we get out of here, weekend plans. What's the over-under on the cheesesteaks? You look great. How's the family? What do we got going on?
Everything's great, and I already had one hoagie today. I have one in the refrigerator for tonight.
Where from?
Primo's.
Primo's. We got a great pizza place here called Primo's. A Primo's a pizza. All right, get Seal stuff at sportshandicapper.com. Don't forget Jamie at scratchcaddy.com. He's been incredible with golf for years now, but especially this year. 7 wins, an eighth guy in the playoff, but had a top 5, top 10 on them. He's had multiple top 10s and top 20s. And we got the playoffs for the next few weeks. Then we got the Ryder Cup coming up, so please check out Jamie's Sizzling Golf Picks at scratchcaddy.com. We got Mr. Sealy McNeely at sportshandicapper.com. We do believe we're going to have an appearance by Starsky and Hutch, our fearless leader, next week. We do believe that we're going to have an appearance by Joey Odessa, our UFC MMA guy, in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to probably coerce Sideburns, another legendary figure, to come on. Seal, I think you'd be embarrassed of how great you are at these shows now and wouldn't know what to say anymore.
You'll never see Sideburns.
He dipped in once when Jamie was doing the show
that
for
was,
his house.
Yeah, that was by accident. That was
for the compound.
That was an accident. That was an accident cameo.
I think years ago he came on a radio show I used to do that I brought the guys on. I think he came on for a minute on one of those, but I mean, I could never imagine him coming on video. That's not happening.
That was and this is what we call in the business an accident cameo.
An accidentally in love?
Don't forget, we got Billions coming when? In 2 weeks?
2 weeks, man. It's one of the best shows ever. We're gonna talk. We'll review the episodes on the show every week, and with spoiler alerts and everything. By the way, Jamie has Justin Thomas, DeChambeau, both in contention. So see how that goes over the weekend. And we got 3 nibbles for my man Seal tonight. That's gonna do it for us. We'll see you next week. Billions coming back soon. I can't wait.
Also, if you wear a hearing aid, which I might need one soon.
Yeah, for Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, you got to get him charged up for Porsche because he whispers through the whole show.
I never have a problem hearing Giamatti.
Really? You know?
No, never.
Stop! Come on.
Stop the press.
You can't hear him. You got to put the volume all the way up just to hear him.
Take the hat off. He's Seal. For Jamie, I'm Dan Leach, the Squatch. We love you. Be safe out there. Football's coming before you know it. Until next time, this has been the Sports Edge, powered by InSpin.com and InSpin.com's network of phenomenal handicappers, Seal being one of the finest of all time. I'm Dan Leach, the Squatch. We'll see you next time. Until then, believe in the dream.